Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. I'm going to take you through two of my favorite stock screens to be running as a swing trader. The first is going to be focused on new IPOs and identifying them, and then the second is going to be focused on identifying those liquid momentum leader type stocks that have a high 20-day ADR percentage, have a high 50-day average dollar volume, are in powerful uptrends above key moving averages. So to do that, we're going to start on Market Surge for the IPO screen. They're today's video sponsor. If you're interested in a discounted trial, then you will find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. Then in the second half of this video, when we're looking at liquid momentum leader type stocks, I'm going to take you through to my custom stock screener, and I'll teach you how to create your own screens there and some key criteria that I would be applying to screens to really find those most powerful opportunities in the market. So let's start here with a Market Surge, and I'll take you through the IPO screen. So first and foremost, let's go and look at what are actually the screening criteria, and there's only two. So I like to keep it nice and simple. There's no magic screen. If you like looking for flags, wedge, pennants, Darvis boxes, VCPs, there is no perfect screen. There's no magic pill screen where you just enter the various criteria and there it is. There is just one perfect VCP. Okay, what I like to do is cast a relatively wide net and then use my eyes to scan through the net and find opportunities that I may find of interest for me. So that is primarily going to be focused on ideally the strongest stocks in the market in terms of relative strength that also have very good fundamentals. The earnings are there, the sales are there, the story is there. It's in a very strong area of the market as well. So this is what I'm doing. As I said, there's only two criteria here. So the first of which is going to be the IPO date. So I'm looking for stocks that have IPO'd within the last 2 years. So that is 2023 or 2024. And I want the market cap to be greater than 100 million. Why is that? Because it just helps filter out a lot of the liquid stocks that have very, very small market caps. So you can see in terms of the Market Surge database, there are currently 10,248 stocks. Just by entering those two criteria, the IPO date and the minimum requirement for the market cap, we've brought it down to 99 results. 99 results. You can probably go through this in 5 minutes or so, relatively quickly. And what I've done is I've just highlighted a couple that are potentially of interest just by flagging them. Okay, so I'll teach you about some of the things that I'm looking for. So as I'm scanning through here, I might spend 30 seconds, 45 seconds per stock and give you a couple of the key things I'm looking for. If you followed the channel for a little while, you may be familiar with the types of setups that I'm looking for. That's going to be kind of your flags, your wedges, your pennants, your pullbacks, your Darvis boxes, your VCPs, your cup and handles, so on and so forth, and interesting candlesticks I call trigger bars, gap down, reverse bars, shakeout, demand tails around one or more key moving average. For instance, that there is a really nice trigger bar around the 10-day and the 21-day, and then you can see the red line here. That's going to be the 50-day simple period moving average. So with Burkenstock here, it's basically overpriced shoes here within the UK that they are selling. My wife has a fascination with their shoes. Couldn't tell you why, but either way, it's interesting, right? So something that I'm looking for is number one, the chart. I like to look around the earnings reactions. Okay, what was happening on the most recent earnings reaction? Well, you can see here there's a nice big gap up, and look at the volume coming through as well. Really popping up there. The stock breaks above the previous high. So something that's interesting here is the previous high was $55. You can see it gaps above, pushes to about $61, and then as it pulls back down here, finds supportive action as what was previous resistance, now holding roughly as support around that $55 mark. Interestingly, the stock also found supportive action on a retest of its 50-day simple period moving average. So as it's pulling back down here, not only is it holding the previous highs, it's a confluence of holding around the 50-day moving average with the volume declining as well. So I'd be looking at this here thinking, okay, can this now turn into a kind of cup with a low handle? So that could be like a little kind of low cheat entry if you've studied Minervini's book. So something like this. So again, the whole point of screening is very rarely will you screen and you'll be like, wow, there's just a perfect setup right there. It's about having that watch list that you're watching stocks to move into position as per your criteria. So for me, for instance, with this stock, I'd be thinking, okay, little kind of pullback, tightening up. So something like this, how it gets really, really tight in here. Look how the volume dries up. I'd be looking for something like that to now happen. So it's about having that kind of story in your head for how the stock now needs to play out, how it needs to move in position for you. A little subtlety here as well. I'm spending too long on this one, aren't I? But a little subtlety here, which I think is really good from a fundamental perspective, is I like looking at the annual EPS. And what I like to see is the annual EPS estimates going into all-time high territory. Even better if the forward guidance has been raised as well. So you see these little green arrows, that means forward guidance has been raised. So if you look at what the company's been able to report, it was 66 cents, it was 49 cents, $1.77, and then look, $1.38, $1.88, forward guidance being raised as well, like that, positive earnings reaction. So there's some interesting things here for this stock. If I go through a couple more, Okay, let's load this one up. This is one stream here. So this only IPO'd at the time of filming this a couple of days ago. So you can see the market cap is 6.5 billion. Now the earnings are pretty good year over year, plus 80%, sales year over year, plus 40%. You can see the triple digit earnings coming through before that. After tax margins, we'd like to see that a bit stronger. But why this is getting my attention, provides unique AI enable. So this word here, AI, potentially a real buzzword. So I like looking for stocks that are kind of involved within AI, potentially have revolutionary products within AI as well. Obviously, you can see the move that Nvidia made, basically fueled by AI and the significant demand for their products. So AI, this is getting my attention because, again, a little bit of a buzzword still in the market. So what I'd be looking for here, this stock has only recently started trading, but can this stock potentially build out a flag type pattern or something like that? It's a little bit early. I'd like to see a little bit more trading. Maybe the 10-day EMA come in, but that one there, one stream, OS, that potentially looks interesting. RK is another one here, okay? So computer software security, you'll see that I've grouped them together via the industry group. That's something else that I like to do in terms of my screenings. Now, what's interesting with this one, the earnings down year over year, sales are up year over year, after tax margins down year over year. The company is not profitable right now, but what's quite interesting here, relatively new in terms of its IPO, you can see the date there. Something else that I like looking for is look at the higher quality funds stepping up here, two of which have initiated positions, one being Fidelity. So I could see how this turns into, kind of morphs into like a cup and handle type pattern. So this is what I'd be looking for this stock to do, kind of turn into a cup and handle type pattern, kind of the handle maybe mid 30s, high 30s, something like that. Is a little bit V-shaped right now, but something like this, just tighten up. So again, this is the list of stocks I like to have and then be looking for them to do certain things as per my criteria. This is a large semiconductor related stock, market cap 155 billion, involved in AI, EPS estimates, all-time high territory, forward guidance has been raised, triple digit earnings year over year up 999%, sales up 47%, after tax margins plus 40.5%, and now you can see the stock is pulling in to its red line there, which is the 50-day SMA, simple period moving average. Is it going to find supportive action? Is it not going to find supportive action? Again, these pullbacks to key moving averages, 21-day EMAs, 50-day simple period moving average, that's an area where I want to be looking for the stock. Potentially it forms a shakeout to Martel or a gap down reverse bar. So ARM, I think, is interesting. NNE, so this stock here, again, some of these, some of the nuclear related stocks. There's SMR, which looks pretty interesting. We'll see if the likes of Cameco can kind of get going as well. But this stock here obviously went on a significant run, but it was like a okay little flag type pattern in there. The volume dries up. The stock then runs pretty hard from about $7 to $37, and then a significant pullback to its 50-day simple period moving average, putting in a shakeout to Martel. This one here is on my radar as well. And this IPO screen would have then identified the stock here as well. Maybe it meets your criteria in there. Maybe it doesn't meet your criteria in there, but these are the type of opportunities just running a really simple screen can find. HG. So we're going to look at this one. We got a little bit of a bigger base, kind of similar point as well, that you have this previous resistance level around about $16 or so. If you just kind of connect some of these highs around about $16 or so, so price is able to break out through that level here. It pulls back, kind of undercuts that, finds supportive action around the 50, a little bit choppy of late, but what I'd be looking for this stock here to do is now form kind of a cup and handle type pattern. Start tightening in here along the 10-day, 21-day EMA, something like this, right? Just start tightening up in there. What's interesting here, earnings up 194% year over year, sales up 104% year over year, acceleration in the margins, EPS estimates into all-time high territory, forward guidance being raised as well. Okay, interesting. SKWD is the next one, so much bigger base here. Okay, so if I was just to connect these highs here, do something like this, you could go a Wyckoff on this one and think about, yeah, potential like Facey Spring off around the 200-day simple period moving average. This is the black line that you see coming through here. So the stock then breaks out here. So then you have a breakout, but potentially now going to form into a shakeout as it pulls into its 21-day EMA. High quality fund, good earnings, good sales, EPS estimates, all-time high territory, forward guidance has been raised, big base, a lot of causality here. So you can see this previous base here, a little bit kind of V-shaped into the breakout, but big size bases can lead to decent uptrends. Such is the nature of cause and effect. Reddit. I'm sure many of you will be familiar with Reddit. So Reddit, relatively new IPO, two higher quality funds in there, including Fidelity. Earnings down pretty substantially year over year, at minus 851%, albeit sales are up. Company is not yet profitable. I prefer the kind of profitable companies rather than non-profitable companies. I always think they could do like a secondary or fundraising. If you're in the UK and you've ever traded AIM stocks before, you'll know about the dreaded fundraise, right? But here you go. It's pulling back into its 50-day simple period moving average. maybe it's going to find supportive action, maybe it's not going to find supportive action. I'd be looking for like a nice big shakeout, gap down, reverse bar, something like that. This stock seems to prefer, again, you can kind of start to get a feel for the character of the stock. This stock seems to like pullbacks more than breakouts, because if you look at where the stock is breaking out, okay, you look here at the breakout, you look here at the breakout, you look kind of here at the breakout, okay, it's just U-turning, like basically an inverted V as well, where it's just kind of popping and dropping very quickly. It seems to be one more so to look for pullbacks to key moving averages rather than targeting breakouts. So a little bit of a feel for that stock. I think I got a couple more. We got Viking Holdings, kind of a cruise liner related one. Fidelity, so a couple of high quality growth funds in there. EPS estimates all-time high, company expected to be profitable. Full guidance has been raised for next year as well. Earnings are down year over year, don't really like that. Sales are up a little bit year over year. I would say though, from its IPO date, it's been acting very favorable. You can see the high volume coming through. That's pretty standard on the first IPO day. Then it kind of builds a little kind of flag wedge type pattern into its 10-day EMA, kind of pulls back down into its 10-day EMA again. So it's in an uptrend, but again, this one looks more so a stock to target on a pullback instead of a breakout. So you can see the green line here is a 21-day EMA. Volume generally dried up. A few high quality funds in there. That's one on my radar as well. I think I may have one or two left to be showing you. Let me take you through a couple of these. Ardent Health Partners, really good earnings coming through, 533% year over year. Sales up a little bit, after tax margins up a little bit. Very strong stock in terms of the initial IPO. You can see the strength of this stock, good volume coming through. Can it now build out a flag type pattern? Take you down to the 60-minute chart. So really good first initial day. So I'd be looking for a flag type pattern, things to kind of calm down. I like having the 10-day EMA come in as a nice reference point to be looking for specific things to be occurring for me in terms of the candlesticks that I like to see for targeting an entry. Let me take you through two more. So I'll take you through Tempest AI, as the name implies, an AI related stock. So company currently not making any money, earnings down year over year, sales up year over year, which is a good thing, but after tax margins negative year over year. However, the initial action is quite strong. So it sells off here, goes pretty V-shaped, but what I'd now be looking for is for the stock to tighten up, kind of build a handle, maybe mid-40s, $45, that kind of region, kind of tighten up. So this is about developing that watch list, and you're just watching for the stock to move into position as per your criteria. But Tempest AI, we did one stream earlier as well. Again, some ones with AI, ARM Holdings as well. Very strong stock, really good earnings with ARM Holdings as well. And then I'll finish the market surge section with this one here, Lan Bridge. So what we can see is similar to some of the other ones I've been showing you, really good action from its IPO date. Now this stock here actually has triple digit earnings coming through, 999% year over year, sales plus 20%, acceleration in the after tax margins as well, and you can start to see that flag type pattern beginning to form, maybe something around $30. So I'm just watching for this one to potentially tighten up around $30 or so, and then potentially there's a setup to be targeting in there. The volume is drying up, it looks quite constructive. Earnings are due out at the time of filming this in 9 days, so that there is something I will be thinking about. But that there is my favorite IPO screen to be running on Market Search. As I said, it is really, really simple. I'm looking for stocks that have IPO'd in either 2023 or 2024. I put a minimum requirement in terms of the market cap. That then takes the database down from around about 10,000 to 99 results at the current time of filming this. And then I'm just running through them, grouping them via the industry group, and I'm just looking for, are there things that are interesting, both from a technical perspective, but also from a fundamental perspective, and also linking that back to, are you seeing potential pockets of strength? Is it AI related? Are you seeing a lot of strength there? Are you seeing a lot of strength in other emerging themes of the market? So that's the market search section with IPOs. I'll now take you across to my custom built stock screener, Stock Screen Hero, and show you how to find these liquid momentum type stocks. Okay guys, we're now on my custom built stock screener called Stock Screen Hero. So if you like those liquid momentum explosive type of stocks that can make some big runs to the upside, you may like this screen. So what am I screening for? Well, it's pretty simple really. I'm looking for stocks listed in the US. I want their price to be above its 50-day simple period moving average, above its 200-day simple period moving average, to better ensure that the stock is in an uptrend on an intermediate and a longer term trend perspective. And then we're going to add a liquidity filter and a quickness filter. So the liquidity filter, I want the 50-day average dollar volume to be greater than $250 million. And then in terms of the quickness, I want the 20-day average daily range percentage of the stock to be greater than 4%. If you keep in your head that the average for the Qs and the SPYs is around 1%, it ebbs and it flows, but is around 1%. I'm looking for a stock that is a lot quicker than the major indexes. The logic here is if the Qs and the SPYs then trend up, say at 10%, the logic is given these stocks all have 20-day ADR percentages greater than 4%, they could go up 40%, 50%, 60%, many multiples of the major indexes. They don't have to, but that is the thinking behind the Quickness. Now, obviously, it cuts both ways as well. If the Qs goes down, say 10%, and you're looking at software stocks that have a 20-day ADR percentage of 4, 5, 6%, they could go down many multiples of the major indexes. So it goes both ways. But what I'm looking for is get involved in these stocks when the momentum is there, when they are setting there, when they are setting up as per my criteria, and then the market conditions are ripe as well. So what have we been able to do? Well, this screen here has broken down the database of around about 5,500 stocks to just 14. You could literally go through these in 30 seconds, 45 seconds, if you know what you're looking for as per your criteria. We could also add a couple of things here, or we could take away a couple of things, or tweak a couple of things if we wanted to, right? So I could go in here, if I wanted to add something in terms of the price, I could say that actually I want the stock to be above the 21-day EMA as well. I want the stock to be above the 10-day EMA as well. Again, that's going to reduce the amount of results coming through. I could say I want it within X percentage of the 52-week high. I could add a filter here as well. I want the 3-month percentage gain to be above 30%, 50%, or something like that. We can look for areas of price contraction as well. In terms of the growth, we could put, we want to see earnings year over year at this. We want to see sales year over year at this. We could add a couple of things in terms of momentum here. So relative strength ranks on a 1 week, 1 month, 3 month basis. We could be playing around here, okay? So if you want to go and create this screen, you can go over to my platform, and if you're a member, then you can have a play around with creating this screen, creating variants of your own screens as well. So let me take you through some of the results. I like sorting the results via industry groups, so I like to cluster them together, because what we can see here, I'm sure many of you will be familiar with Tesla. You may also be familiar with Rivian, which is another EV maker, 4x4s, I believe. So by grouping them together, I can see, okay, potentially some pockets of strength. As I go through as well, some of you may be familiar with Coinbase, some of you may be familiar with MicroStrategy, and also CleanSpark there as well. So these are crypto related stocks. So it just helps me kind of dial in and go, okay, potentially there's some pockets here. So enough talking, let's start going through a couple of these charts. So what I could do here is I could look at Tesla and go, okay, Tesla had a decent run here. It's pulled back down. It's lost the 10 and the 21, which is the black and the blue line, but it's currently above its 50-day. But interestingly, Rivian to the right hand side here, while Tesla is actually below its 10 and its 21, if we were to just zoom these in a little bit, Rivian is actually holding up above its 21. This is going to be interesting, because Tesla, that's an interesting looking bar there, isn't it? A little shakeout demand tail. For me, not buy, but it's kind of no man's land between the 21 and the 50. I'm not really seeing anything there quite yet. But Rivian, if this kind of puts in a nice tight little bar, then maybe you have like a flag type pattern. Stocks run from around about $8, $10 or so, up to higher here of $18, potential high type flag for Rivian. But again, by grouping them in terms of industry groups, I'm going, okay, EVs may be a pocket. Again, I'm just trying to dial in and think, okay, where may be strong. Marathon, this is a North American crypto miner, really big base here, clustering around the 10, 21 and the 50-day simple period moving average. Interesting. If I go down a little bit, ARM we were speaking about previously, Coinbase building a big base here, Coinbase building big base, that kind of rhymes, doesn't it? You can see the size of the base that's building here. If we go down, and I'll just finish with these two, you've got MicroStrategy, which is kind of a play on crypto. I'm sure many of you will be familiar with MicroStrategy and their CEO Michael Saylor, but you can see the size of the base here, and you can see the 10, the 21 and the 50 all kind of clustered. Okay, this looks interesting. And then just to the right, this is CleanSpark. This is a crypto mining related stock as well. Note the size of the base. So it's helpful to know a little bit about kind of the company's experience will help with that. So I know Marathon, North American crypto miner, CleanSpark. I know this is crypto related stock. MicroStrategy kind of play on crypto. Scroll up here, Coinbase, kind of play on crypto. So now my head is going, crypto stocks, they look interesting, some really big bases there. Go take a look at Bitcoin on the monthly chart, potential for a huge monthly cup and handle type pattern. So then these are ones that I could be flagging. I could be putting them in various watch lists. I can click right here. We can go straight onto a TradingView chart, and then I'm watching for the stock to set up as per my criteria. So hopefully that video there is useful for you guys in terms of scanning for new IPOs on Market Surge, some of the main fundamentals that I look for, and then also running a screen like this, looking for those kind of liquid momentum, explosive type stocks that are very liquid, have high 20-day ADR percentages. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the support on the channel. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in a future video.